Hello, and thank you for checking out my video. In today's video I am going to talk about 7 ways to build your brand online. My name is Richard Murphy and I am from New Zealand, so for now just sit back and enjoy the video. The 7 ways to build your brand online stories. As a way to take your brand on the internet, you will need to do some basic things to get going. Not only will building your brand online go a very long way to increase awareness and establish your reputation, but the more individuals are invested in your brand, the larger the odds are that they'll actively seek it out and continue being loyal. Develop your reputation online. Maybe you will reach out to some influencers online, and that's perfectly acceptable. Building your reputation online is comparable to a networking breakfast, but it's not quite as straightforward. It takes more time. Simply speaking, if you prefer to cultivate your business on the internet first, you need to cultivate your brand. Optimize each content for those keywords your customers will likely search when looking for your small business online and have them published on top-ranking properties. Lies you've been told about 7 ways to build your brand online. In order to construct a decent consumer relation, your company should have a trustworthy customer service team. If you're in the company of selling your merchandise, you are going to want the crowd to get in touch with you and request information. So you have to find out if your company will truly gain from a time-consuming content promoting. Exercise. If your company has turned into a victim of online reputation crises, there are a number of tactics to conserve the day. Now, if you're running a marketplace business or even an online shop, you first will need to find out where people are. Things you should know about 7 ways to build your brand online. Becoming in a position to track your online presence may not necessarily assist you with ROI, but it is going to help you establish what's working for your company and what isn't. Also, don't forget that if you offer help online, make certain you can follow through. You may seek the advice of best web design firms to acquire a better content grip for your brand promotion. When it's via your site, an online community, or through your social networking channels, you always ought to want to give consistent value first of all. Make sure you check your site thoroughly for any copy troubles. If you're planning to launch a business site, you will need to think about your target marketplace. If it comes to websites, they need to be simple, clean and simple to use. The site must interact with the viewers and make something which represents the brand. Possessing a personal website for yourself is among the best strategies to rank for your name on the various search engines. In the long run, be positive your site portrays the knowledge in a manner that will gather much of the targeted audience and will gradually facilitate your company. Your site and blog go without saying that you want a website. The bizarre secret of 7 ways to build your brand online. In order to construct a brand, you must do what you could to be everywhere. Before you can construct a brand your target audience trusts, you will need to understand what value your company provides. One way to check at your brand is as if it was an individual. Personal brands aren't just for the entrepreneur that owns their own organization. If you're seeking to construct a web-based personal brand and an audience, below are some methods to begin. Ways to build your brand online. Secrets that no one else knows about. Begin by listening and seeing who's talking about your brand. Big brands appear to have it made. As a small company, you could be competing against big brands with devoted clients. You should not imitate precisely what the huge brands are doing in your industry. As soon as you understand how you wish your brand to be perceived, you can begin to be far more strategic about your own personal brand. It's about getting feedback on your organization and improving your brand so that it gets more valuable. After you have built a brand as effective for your business, you and your employees are the very best advocates to promote your brand. A recognizable and loved brand is among the most valuable assets a business owns. On the flip side, if you select a brand that's a little more obscure, for instance, being beautiful and sexy whilst wearing a colostomy bag, you can be famous for that thing. Your brand would like to feel the exact same to customers whenever they interact with this. After you should have recorded the terms which are hurting your brand's internet presence, it's time to move on the next phase. Your own personal brand ought to be about who you are and what you have to give. Personal brands ought to be important to everyone. When launching a new venture, your private brand has the capacity to guarantee which people will want to support you. Your brand must be focused on the requirements of your customers. Developing your own personal brand is the proactive means of controlling your career development and the way you're perceived in the market. A strong personal brand will affect your ability to find the most suitable jobs, promotions, and boost your capacity to draw talent and capital. A secret weapon for 7 ways to build your brand online. Most individuals are conversant with brands. It's about getting feedback on your organization and improving your brand so that it grows more valuable. After you should have recorded the terms which are hurting your brand's internet presence, it's time to move on the next phase. An intelligent brand integrates nicely with the brand of the broker. What do 7 ways to build your brand online mean? Based on the organization, the brand may be a potent advertising tool because all brand management has been done for you through years of consistent presence in the industry. Obviously, it provides recognition. Big brands appear to have it made. When launching a new venture, your private brand has the capacity to guarantee which people will want to support you. If your business is all around consistent, then it will be simpler for customers to stay with and buy your brand for many decades. Some companies attempt to use advertising to modify industry perception and make a new brand. It's true, you do need to be honest about why you're no longer employed by the business, but you have to find strategies to set a positive spin on things. Most companies wish to create long-term relationships with customers. If you employ the most effective responsive web design company, you'll be in a position not just to leverage the increasing number of mobile internet users but also to grow your brand online. Top 7 ways to build your brand online secrets. In business, it's important to focus. So you should find out if your company is really going to gain from a time-consuming content advertising exercise. Often when folks start an online business, they don't have any idea how to do their advertising campaign. If your company has turned into a victim of online reputation crises, there are some approaches to conserve the day. Focusing on the fields of your business that you're most productive in and properly suited for is vital. Now, if you're running a marketplace business or even an online shop, you first will need to determine where people are. Facts, fiction, and 7 ways to build your brand online. When you're addicted to promotional-based marketing, you eventually tell the marketplace to wait until the following promotion. To put it differently, after a time, they know you'll do another promotion. Promotional-based marketing is only a single component of a great advertising and marketing program. Don't think for a single moment that you can depend on promotional-based marketing to repair your problem. The 30-second trick for 7 ways to build your brand online. No quantity of advertising will provide help. You ought not to think about using advertising to construct your brand till you have as much cash you'll be able to afford to throw it all away. In a small or medium-sized company, you shouldn't think about using advertising to construct your brand. If it comes to websites, they ought to be simple, clean and simple to use. Thus, the website has to be incorporated with the feature that may continue to keep the customers occupied and at precisely the same time help them in creating a purchase. Ultimately, be certain your site portrays the knowledge in a manner that will gather much of the targeted audience and will gradually facilitate your organization. Make certain you check your site thoroughly for any copy problems. Your site and blog go without saying that you require a website. The fundamentals of 7 ways to build your brand online revealed the site must interact with the viewers and make something which represents the brand. The site must attempt to supply the consumers with better navigation and product search. If you're planning to launch a business site, you will need to think about your target industry. The number 1 question you must ask for 7 ways to build your brand online. There's not any way of telling which is better for promoting your online store. If you operate an online shop, you definitely will need to appear into private label rights (PLR) products. The web stores must offer a variety of features to the customers so they can relate to the internet store better and earn a purchase without exiting the internet shop. Therefore, it must try to provide the customers with the best possible assistance and option to make their purchase. The start of 7 ways to build your brand online. The consumers wouldn't like to watch for a lengthier time period in order to look at or browse the goods. To do so, you obviously have to understand what you stand for and what you need your clients to have the ability to anticipate from you and your goods. It's much better to have customers visit your system to complain, as opposed to going on social networking or other sites to blaspheme your brand. Therefore, learn more about it, learn what your customers are looking for. The more customers learn how to trust your organization, the more likely they'll be to patronize it. Well, what did you think about the video? Let me know in the comments below this video. If you got value from the video, please hit the subscribe button and share with your friends. Well, that's all from me. This is Richard Murphy from New Zealand signing out until my next video.